Now let's talk about Cam, because tomorrow.
Where's JD when you need him?
Where is JD? Well, he's going to be on Play-by-Play Live. So I hope everybody's tapping in.
But will he be wearing a Cam jersey underneath that hoodie?
That's the question.
That's the real question.
That is the $1 million question. Whose side will he be on? The Cam Reddish revenge game, the game that everybody has had circled on this West Coast trip, is here. It's finally here. And Cam spoke to the Daily News and ripped the Knicks. And he says this about his playing time under head coach Tom Thibodeau. It was tough, but it ain't even about basketball. It was all the politics, all the favoritism, ish like that. That's why I wasn't too worried. I can shoot a shot in New York. I feel like I had to make it, and I'm not the only person who felt that. Cam Reddish going in. Said it was political. Airing out Tibbs.
Throwing Obi under the bus.
Throwing Obi under the bus. You know, look, man. Obviously, there's politics in the sport. It's been that way. It's been that way since the beginning of time. Yes, there's politics in sports. There's politics in corporate America. There's politics in your family life. There's politics in politics, right? It comes with the territory of human relations and business. So I agree with that. I don't like how they handle the situation. He went from being a starter to being a rotation player to getting absolutely 0 minutes. But on the flip side, when they did that, they started winning. They started winning games without you, Cam. So did the Hawks. The on-off numbers, they were a better team with you not on the court. So, on one hand, where the Knicks are and in need of talent upgrades, and I've always felt like they should be trying to find lightning in a bottle. Diamond in the rough. I thought they should have been a little bit more patient with his development and give him a chance because he did flash some potential. But on the other hand, you have a head coach in Tom Thibodeau who had no patience for that because he's here to win games. He's here to add W's to his resume because if he doesn't, as he quoted, as he was, well, not he wasn't quoted, but as that quote came out from a quote unquote friend in December, he thought he was going to get fired.
Right.
He thought he was going to get fired. So if that is true, then he had to stick to his guns, go with his type of players, and see where that goes. And it's worked out well.
Look, the whole Cam situation, like, it's tough because it would have been. This team was never meant for like a full on, like with Tibbs at the helm, even last season.
Correct.
You know, it was all about competing.
Correct.
So the thought about bringing Cam in, especially when Tibbs didn't agree with it, was wrong from the offset. That's why even I still blame the front office for that decision. It's a good idea if you're a team that's like, we're going to rebuild, we're going to play all the youth last season, we're not going to do, we're pivoting midway through so we can get a better lottery pick and see what we got on this team and do some talent evaluation. But if you know Tibbs, like Leon Rose has known for Tibbs for so long, you know this guy has an ingrained nature to constantly compete until the team is completely eliminated from playoff seeding. And in this case, the play-in. So if you know that, why even make the trade for Cam Reddish? That's my first question. That made no sense. Now, two, you talk about developing and all that type of stuff. This coach is not going to full on do a full development to see what Cam Reddish is. You either are ready to go like quickly or Grimes, or you're not. And we see that. That's how even with McBride, right? Even though that's a guy that he liked in the draft, he still was not committing to more than 10, 11 minutes. He was like, you're going to get some run here. Same thing with Obi. He doesn't believe in Obi defensively, right? regardless of how I feel about the whole Obi situation, that's how he thinks. He is ingrained in that situation. If you're not the square peg to go through the square hole, he is not going to figure it out. You have to fit his system, what he sees every single day. Cam did not fit that from the get-go. All right. Cam is an offensive player, and he needs to be on a team that's going to give him time to figure out his game in the NBA. He did not have that opportunity at Duke because he had RJ and Zion there taking up most of the shots, most of the features, right?
Yep.
No one knew what Cam was only selected highly because of the talent, right? What he could be in the NBA. No one knew exactly how he would fit. You see Ja, it's like, oh, that guy, leader on a team, we're going to draft him. Boom. Zion, leader of a team, we can build around him. Boom. Cam, there was still a little bit of an unknown what he could be. So he needed to go to a team that was ready for like a Houston Rockets, actually, or what the Trailblazers are doing right now. A team that's like, we will play you 30 plus minutes to figure out your game to see what role you fit in the league.
Yeah.
It was not going to happen on the Knicks. So if you know that about Tibbs and what the situation is here, I don't know why you do that trade.
It was a silly trade. And it just spoke to the misalignment between the front office and the coach. Now Cam goes to Portland. Chauncey's giving him a chance. He started 11 games for them, averaging 13.6 points per game, 36% from downtown. Effective field goal percentage of 56%, the highest of his career. 84 from the charity stripe, 2 dimes, damn near 3 dimes, a steal. Looks like he's playing well.
Yeah, man. Good for Cam. Like I want to see him succeed. I want to see him have these opportunities. It just wasn't going to happen on the Knicks, man. I just also didn't like how it was so like it closed the door. You talked about the politics. We know about that, man. We know it happens everywhere. But the fact that he still couldn't get minutes, even in games where we needed him, or could he not even needed him, but could he used him because you're playing the Toronto Raptors and he's got the length and versatility. That I don't like. That is something for Tibbs that I just do not like because, once again, it's why I'm even a little bit concerned. Like, how are things going to unfold in the playoffs? Because, some coaches are able to say, you know what, I see this player, he doesn't really fit what I want to do on this team, but I could be a little bit creative and figure out how to get him some minutes in there. Like, whether it be Popovich, whether it be Kerr, even Phil Jackson back in the day when he was coaching the Lakers and the Bulls. Like, it's just like some way to be innovative, and I just don't see that here with Tibbs. So that's a big concern moving forward. But you know what? Even with like young guys, like I did the pod with, who was it? Sam Esfandiari for the Light Years pod, right? And he talked about the difficulties of getting a young guy in to a championship winning roster on the Warriors, right? It's just a hard balance. And even though the Knicks are not a championship winning roster, they're still looking to compete. So figuring out how to get Cam in that and tell him, hey, you're going to fit this role to get some minutes, it's difficult for players. That's why you see Moody, Wiseman, Kuminga. They're having difficulty right now figuring out where they belong in this league as well.
That is a big fact. Now, to the flip side of that, the Knicks did trade Cam Reddish for the prototypical, the quintessential Tom Thibodeau player, and his name was Josh Hart, man. And we started off the show a little bit touching on Josh Hart and his impact on this team, what he's been able to do for this squad as a member of the Knicks. And one of the things that rings off the bell, man, is 3-point shooting has come around tremendously, man. Shooting 58% from 3. Now, he's only taken about 2 attempts since he's been here, but nevertheless, he's been shooting the ball better since coming to the Knicks. 60% from the field overall. His points per game is up a little bit. Rebounding numbers a little bit down, but overall, man, he's been a big spark for this Knicks team. And an interesting article that our guy Fred Katz at The Athletic, friend of the program, had wrote about Josh Hart last week. And it was basically around his ability to be a one-man fast break, man. And you see it with your eyes, but by the numbers, according to Fred Katz, Hart averages a fiery 1.43 points per coast-to-coast play, according to Second Spectrum. And he said, think about it like this. That's nearly the same efficiency as when an average free throw shooter goes to the line for 2 shots. It's good enough for 4th in the NBA among qualifying 79 players. And these are the names. It's Kevin Durant, Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, Josh Hart, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and Nikola Jokic. One man fast break, man. And for a team like the Knicks, who, efficiency from the field is going to be up and down, right? They're not a highly efficient team. They're going to have their lulls. If you can sneak out and get transition buckets, get easy buckets out on the run where the defense is not set, that's just a huge plus. It's a huge plus. And he's given them a big lift in that regard. I think the Knicks had improved in transition over the course of the season, but since he's been here, they've been even better.
Mm-hmm.
They've been even better. If you look at his on-off stats, you take a look at his on-off stats in terms of transition. He's in the 78th percentile. He's in the 99th percentile with the Knicks in terms of points per possession transition. Plus 11.3. He's in the 99th percentile. In all transition, he's in the 78th percentile in points plus per possession, and then off of steals, he's in the 96th percentile off of steals in transition, man.
Just a heads up player.
Yeah.
When you have somebody that just can attack and transition like that and bend the defense, get you some easy points, that's a game changer, man. We're talking, especially in like the playoffs when you're talking about it's going to be half court for most of the time. If you can get you like 2, 4, 6 points, that could be the tipping point for a game.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about the impact that has on a defense. It could be deflating when you see someone just beat you out in transition. It gets tiring having to run back on defense just to catch up to stop them. So the impact in that way, it's just awesome. It's just awesome to have Josh Hart on this team because the Knicks have struggled without Derrick Rose pushing that ball out in transition. And to have somebody come in and help, someone like Obi Toppin, he's constantly looking for Obi out in transition because that's where Obi thrives. Mm-hmm. To have somebody like that to help the second unit, that's immense because the second unit outside of Quickly and Hart, and even with RJ in there, it's not necessarily the most efficient and high scoring offense that we've been accustomed to when Derrick Rose at the helm. So Hart's just been impactful on that side of the ball.
Yeah. Ignacio Lobregat was asking, what's the minutes per game difference for Hart between Portland and the Knicks? 33.4 minutes per game with the Blazers and 29 with the Knicks.
As you said, he is not getting. Tibbs is like, you are on, you are not leaving.
He's not coming out of that game.
Yeah, because you know why? I need someone that can play defense and push the pace.
Yeah, he's not coming out that game. I can tell you, he's a lock for closing lineups in the playoffs.
Oh, that's not even a question.
He's a lock.
It's not even a question. I'd even throw Quickly up there too, man.
It could. I think that all depends on how RJ's playing.
If you're getting the Cavs, I think it's going to happen just because you think about that small backcourt that everyone's like, oh, what if the small backcourt of Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson, that would have happened? Mm-hmm. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, it's a good matchup for Quick and Brunson.
Yeah.
So if that is the matchup, pencil it in there. Even like, I don't know, man. I think Tibbs needs another guy who can handle the rock on the court in the crunch time. Because as we saw, especially I think it was the second time the Knicks played Boston, they're going to trap Brunson.
Yes.
They know he's going to be the primary initiator. So if you have Quickly out there, he can at least bring the ball up as well. That's why I feel like Hart and Quickly, man. I mean, Tibbs has been doing it now. I think there's a reason why he's doing that. He's like, yo, you get ready. This is what we're about to see, man, because we're going to need Quickly out there just in case and to get Brunson some open shots. And Hart, RJ's been, I'll give RJ some credit. His defense has slightly improved the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But it is nowhere near what Josh Hart does.
He's been a great addition, great addition to this team, and let's see how he continues to impact this team, man. Because he can just do a little bit of everything from the rebounds to pushing the transition, to just playing tough, playing physical, playing smart. He's been great. Really good signing. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. KFTV Knicks Weekly, presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping.